Listen, I waited until 7:05 to keep you all in suspense. I want you to know that. Anyway, thank you all for joining this episode of Under Construction. We're back. It's another Thursday. I can never quite get the hang of Thursdays. Let me just double check, make sure that everything is copacetic on the stream side. It's not. It's not going to the playlist. There is a playlist of these. It's not what I would call complete, but it's there. Let me share this video link to our own Discord server, the Iron Horseman. Everyone here is welcome to check that out. Links in the description. You're also welcome to check out theironhorseman.com. That is our website. You can buy our Steam Locomotive trading cards there. We should be having another season of Loco Royale, or the Loco game soon, TM, as well as more cards coming soon. The thing that has stood in the way of that, and I'll just say this right now at the top of the show, the thing that has stood in the way of that is Merger Mania. Believe it or not, you know, a few weeks ago, many of you folks, I'm sure, were excited to see that we did a Merger Mania stream with Heiss, or that guy from Studio 346. Hold on, let me write this in. Route building stream live now! Exclamation point. And we'll get that ready for when we get started. Good evening to all, and to all a good event. So, hello Mopac. So yeah, it's worth saying that, unsurprisingly, right, that stream brought about a pretty significant amount of interest in Merger Mania. And because of that, I've had a lot of thoughts since then, and we can talk about that as soon as I lose, not Tetris. But let's do this. Let's let some people cycle in. If you're on the server, you get a little bit of advance notice for when I'm doing these things. And that sounds like Gloria coming inside. What's up, Trainz Street? Looking forward to seeing you at the Big E this weekend. Looking forward to seeing a bunch of people at the Big E this weekend, including our newest hobo, Marine Trooper. I asked Gloria to pick me out one of the random Yacht Club sodas that are out there on the porch, and I don't know which one they picked there. Coming in now, let's see what it is. It is the Yacht Up! It's the Yacht Up. Ooh, it's very, very cold. I mean, it was, oh, you know what, I'll cover the, there you go, Yacht Up. This is, oh, you know what, I just forgot I'm playing friggin' not Tetris. The stuff's just like going haphazardly. Oh, shoot. We will open this afterward. Hold tight. What's up, Yo? It's Chris says yo, which seems incredibly on brand for Yo, it's Chris. Yo, it's under construction. But yeah, I can talk about what's coming down the pipe for Merger Mania now that it is pretty well along, and any changes that happen are pretty much established. I did a lot of the work on the spreadsheet. East and Bender and I did a lot of work on the KMZ files. Casey contributed as well with some ideas, as did a whole bunch of other people. So, you know, I can't name everyone, but there are important players here. Uh-oh. 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 Virgo Drusky says, I'd love to participate in a Merger Mania. Your best shot at participating in a Merger Mania is, if you have fan rank on the server, which I believe you do, but, you know, this goes out to everyone. Put in for Merger Mania when the poll for community playdate comes up. That usually comes up on like Tuesday or Wednesday of a given week, and the playdate is on Friday. I understand that Friday at 7 Eastern is something that, like, some individuals are never going to be able to make that because of work schedule or this, that, the other thing. I understand that. I apologize. It's just, you know, I try to hit as many people as I can with that kind of thing, and I can't hit everyone. Alright, there we go. Oh, shoot. But, yeah, I can talk about Merger Mania as soon as we get here. That is the worst thing that could have happened, and it flummoxed me so much that I just put that long one in absolutely the wrong spot. We are cooked, comrades. We are cooked. But it is a very fun game. It's, it's the kind of thing where I would have thought that the Loco games would be sort of a universal favorite, but everyone loves Merger Mania, and that blows me away, because it's a relatively simple game, and maybe that's why it's so beloved, and it's relatively uncompetitive too. That's something that also probably works in its favor. Um, in the version 2, and I keep saying we're going to talk about it when I'm done with this. Uh, oh, sorry, Mopac asked, what is Yacht Soda? Yacht Club is our local soda maker. I guess you can't really call it a brewery, uh, because it's non-alcoholic, but it's a local soda company up here in Providence, Rhode Island. I think they're technically in North Providence, and you can and they have like a buttload of varieties, and they're all pretty darn good. That's why I went and I got a 12 pack, just assorted. You can go into the distributor and just pick and pull whichever ones you want. Um, and I brought home 12, a lot of which I have never had before, including a couple of the seasonal ones and a couple of political ones, funnily enough, which I said I should not do on stream. But there was one, when I can't remember to which political candidate it was ascribed, but it was like a berry blast soda, and it was really, really good. Um, at any rate, I don't suggest voting based on your soda preference, but anyway, Yacht Club in Boilo. Oh God, what sodas go into Boilo? I mean, I know Casey would know. Casey has the recipe. Um, anyway, yeah, I drank 3 whole bottles of it last night watching Thomas and the Magic Railroad. I mean, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. I don't know how it would compare. I mean, it's soda. It's not gonna be healthy. I'm not. Uh, I'm not. TJ says I don't think soda goes in there. You're probably right. I just vaguely remember. It's probably the juice that I'm thinking of. It's like I remember there were like mundane ingredients. Um, at any rate, it's good. Again, I'm not sure how good it is for you compared to regular soda. Not that any soda is particularly good for you. I'm personally a ginger ale stan, and like I said last time I talked about them, which is going to be every time, I should probably ask them for a sponsorship. Just kidding. Um, they had a golden ginger ale which I liked quite a lot. They have a pale ginger ale which I don't really like, but I'm a big ginger ale fan. And for those curious, Canada Dry, that's the winner. Nothing's beat Canada Dry yet. Although the golden ginger ale was a pretty damn good ginger ale. Uh, Mopac says he's a Pepsi guy. I've never really been one for dark soda. It's like drinking sugar, and that's really saying something because all soda is like drinking sugar. But I was shocked by how much sugar is in a single serving of ginger ale. Yeah, I know. It's a lot. It's more than you'd expect for like the quote unquote healthy soda. But it's still soda, and I guess if you that's what sets ginger ale apart for me from like gingerbread cookies, because I usually don't like ginger. Yeah, TJ, you hit the nail on the head. I'm not a big fan of the ginger taste, like full bore. Um, I don't like gingerbread cookies. I don't like gingerbread at all. But ginger ale, it brings that it brings that ginger taste down a little bit with way too much sugar, which is why you shouldn't everything in moderation. You shouldn't go to town on any kind of soda. Um, if you're thirsty, drink some water. Um, you says I do like ginger and gingerbread. Well, we're gonna have to agree to disagree on that. Um, all right, we're doing okay here. I really thought we were gonna lose it when I looked away for a solid 30 seconds. Uh, yeah, no, TJ, that does make a lot of sense. Um, water from a Circle water bottle. That's peak. See, I do not at all enjoy any tastes in my water. Every time I go to a restaurant, I ask for water plain, and they usually get the memo. But if they do give me a lemon, I'm usually kind of disappointed. Not disappointed enough that I'm going to say, "Excuse me, can you take this back and give me one without lemon?" But like, uh, I'm disappointed. I don't like water with like the fruit infusion taste or whatever. Uh, but to each their own. I know it if you're going from soda to water, right? If you grow up on soda, especially dark soda, it's a huge loss, right? You're used to that taste, and I've had friends that don't drink water because it doesn't taste like anything, and it's like, yeah, no, I get it. And if you need to put a little bit of taste in your water so that water is palatable to you, water, the best thing you can ingest, like, period, is palatable to you, that's fine. That's a reasonable compromise. Um, water.
Water?
You handed me the soda, and I immediately went on a tangent about the soda. Like, I took my hands off the keyboard and tried to show the camera, and and I forgot that I was playing not Tetris. I forgot that I was not playing Tetris, and I almost bungled it. Um, I'm getting called for dinner, kitchen folks later. I bite into the lemon first and then keep it in my mouth while take a gulp of water. That's pretty intense. Um, I haven't. You know what? I do like lemon, so maybe I'll have to try that next time somebody gives me a lemon. You know what they say? Make lemonade. Don't make lemonade. Make life take the lemons back. Gloria, you need to finish Portal. Uh, there's some really great stuff awaiting you in Portal 2. There's a reason that game is a 10 out of 10. And that's not even an exaggeration on my part. Uh, I was talking to Jersey earlier, and he said, like, the other day he just got, like, the bug, and he sat down and played the entirety of Portal 2 front to back, like, apropos of nothing. Which is apparently a phrase that I use a lot now, and I just don't know why. Um,
I don't understand this game.
it's Tetris. Well, it's not Tetris.
No, it's not Tetris.
You're right, it's not Tetris. You nailed it. That's what it's called.
Like, what is this?
It's not Tetris.
Okay.
What do you mean, what is this? It's a Roblox.
It's Roblox.
uh, this is like a long time ago. We were looking at, and by we I mean myself and Wybold, we're looking at a locomotive on the Rio Grande, and it was number 10. It was 1-0, as you do, and it was one of those engines that's been like bastardized by the shop. It was kind of a disaster. It was like a consolidation. They turned into a tank engine or something like that, and so we had to give it like a fitting moniker. And I remember I was here with somebody, and I called them over to the computer, and I said, "What number is this locomotive?" And they looked kind of confused and said, 10. And I went, "No, it's 10."
Okay.
Uh, okay, let's put this right here, and then we're just going. We're getting a high score today. This is sweet. This is a great welcome back to Under Construction. And I would love to say this is like a welcome back to it being a weekly fixture like it should be, but I have no idea. It's been crazy. Like I said, there's a bunch of other stuff that's supposed to be going on right now. New loco games, new trading cards, and I haven't made headway on any of that because of Merger Mania. Merger Mania being the hit that it is, oh my god, they're coming down fast. Has made me think a lot about the game and go, okay, how do I make this better? All right, well, there's game over. At least we got the little animation. Well, the animation
Show the soda.
is going off. I showed the soda when you handed it to me, and I almost lost the game because of it. Oops, I lost the game. Rhode Island. Actually, here's what. I'll show the Rhode Island official Rhode Island soda on the bottle cap. What? Yeah.
We're 269 days away.
Guys, 269 days away from marriage. Alright, so I'm going to type in today's date. This is, let's see, 12325. This is the first one in 2025, and maybe we can beat that again. Alright, so give me just a second. I'm going to put this route building stream post up and check my DMs, check my pings. What is this? Anyway, check my pings, check the streaming and recording chat, just to make sure nobody's left me anything fun there. I'm going to move the pineapple cup out of the way because that's empty. And put the soda in its place. So, hello, John Riso, or Riso. You can tell me if I'm pronouncing it wrong. I'm used to it. I'm used to being the one that is being pronounced wrong or spelled wrong. Gloria and I sent out wedding invites maybe a week ago, maybe a week or two ago. And people are starting to get them finally. Well, people got like most of them have arrived already, but we're starting to hear back from people that have received them. And well, John, welcome to the stream. And it turns out we spelled someone's last name wrong. We spelled their last name. It was told to me, and I completely misheard it and wrote it down wrong. Which is embarrassing because the name is a normal word. It's the word ransom. And I heard Ramsen, R-A-M-S-E-N. That's not the name. That's not a word. But anyway, for John and for anyone else that might be joining us, this is the Tolbrin Peninsula. And by this, of course, I mean this. A route that is about 30 miles long end to end, and is going to keep going in this direction, and then in this direction, and then in that direction, in, you know, the coming years and decades. This is a mega project. We come here, we stream every week, we talk about random stuff, and, you know, we go from there. Now, this block is going to just be houses. And that means it's going to get, pronunciation. I was talking about my last name. Oh, okay. We've got to get some houses in here, and also probably in here. I'm not totally sure what to do with here. I feel like there should be a couple, like, commercial buildings on the corner. But getting even this block done would be nice. One of the things that's sort of haunting me, no pun intended, is this, which is going to be a massive graveyard. And that's a huge amount of work. I'm not super excited to do that. But yeah, anyway, we've got to get the houses down at least, and then we'll move on to something else at the top of the hour. We've got some other things to do. We've got some track work to do up the road at the yard. We were working on that last time when we wrapped up. We've got some stuff in staging to do. Show the search filter. Let's just go house. Let's pull up house. Trainz says, I can't even spell my last name correctly half the time, and it's 3 letters. Well, I don't know about you, but that kind of sounds like a skill issue to me. We don't need warehouse. These U.S. houses are kind of bizarre and, like, weird and low poly. What, baby? And, yep. Yeah, I mean, you gotta, see, and to take this to the next level, right? I'm a member of the Wiscasset, Waterville, and Farmington. And they have my last name written down from the agreement I signed and the bill that I paid to be a member. They have my last name. They have never once spelled my last name correctly on a piece of mail that they have sent me. And to make things even better, they usually spell it not usually, but they have occasionally spelled it multiple ways on the very same piece of mail, and they're both wrong. Um, so yeah, it gets worse. Or it can be worse, I suppose. Station master's house. I'll just use this as a regular house. Why not? We need to have one of these houses, like a station master's house, that's right up next to the tracks, so that the station master can take like their bag and throw it over the wall. Who did that? Was that Mad Jack Churchill that did that? Would throw his suitcase over the like out of the train into his own backyard so that he didn't have to carry it home from the station. I remember that story. I just don't remember who it was about. Um, let's see. We've got this. I love how the roof is like functionally disconnected from the building. You spin the building and the roof lags behind. Um, these are not close enough together, and this area is pretty big. Like this yard area in the back, but it should work still. One of the biggest problems is getting is one of the biggest problems for me lately is making blocks that are too big. Okay, so these houses, I think, are supposed to be placed like this. Like placed, let's see, these are both 90 degrees. Placed like this, like right up on top of one another. Or at least placed very close to one another. So that these windows, you know, the reason these windows are like this is that so that you can still get sunlight and stuff. Which they're gorgeous, and I want to use them, just not right here. They don't fit. What counts as an old house these days? So yeah, Merger Mania, right? Like I said at the top of the show, many folks got introduced to Merger Mania on account of the heist stream, which was a ton of fun. And if you happen to also tune into the community playdate that happened immediately thereafter, I don't remember if that one was broadcasted or not, but the spreadsheet like broke catastrophically during that, and I am so glad that that didn't happen during the heist stream, because if it had, it would have been a complete mess and a massive embarrassment. And on the other hand, we had something that it went off great, and the spreadsheet looked great, and everything just kind of worked. But it got me thinking. It got me thinking, and I thought, so what can I do to this game to make it more interesting? Because usually after just about every single time the game gets played, I have a set of notes that I sort of, take into account, and I adjust things, and I move some railroads around and change some connections, and, that sort of thing. And that's what I intended to do this time. But I got a little sort of, got a little bug, got a little thinking bug, and I thought, well, what can I do to make the game much more interesting? Especially if we're looking at adding Canada, because somebody contacted me and asked if I wanted to use their Camsies that they were working on, and I said absolutely, please, and so they sent them over, and I'm very grateful for that. But, I figured if we're going to add Canada, we got to add, like, the other metro areas, and if we're going to add the other metro areas, we might as well look at, like, all of the metro areas, like, take a holistic look at the thing, and say, hey, if we're doing this and that, why don't we do this and that? And so I started looking at the other metro areas, and it occurred to me that what might be more interesting than the current arrangement, where if you touch something, you get points for it. And that's fine. That's not bad. But imagine if something was worth a set amount of points, and those points got divvied up between, all of the different, all of the different people that connected to it. So, like, everyone that got to New York got a set of the New York points. We should do a Horseman versus Heistman Merger Mania battle. That would be a lot of fun. Absolutely. Um, excuse me. Um, so anyway. Okay. Yeah. So Carcassonne field point rules. I'm unfamiliar, but if you are familiar and that sounds like what I'm talking about, then yes. Uh, Carcassonne. Uh, but yeah. Say New York is worth 1,000 points, and every railroad that connects to it, or every player that connects to it, gets a share of those points. Now say that you have 2 railroads and everyone else has 1. Now your share is bigger. Um, and I thought about that, and I thought it was a good idea. So I went through and I set that up for all of the major metropolitan areas over, and East helped a lot with this. Absolutely, East helped a lot with this. I can't discount his contributions. Um, uh, Set up for all of the metro areas over 1 million people in the U.S., as well as for all of the states. And what we did with the states, it took a few iterations to get something that I really liked about the states, because it had to work for the states, U.S. states. The same formula had to work for U.S. states, had to work for Canadian provinces, and also had to work for Mexican states, because ideally the game will include all 3 of those at some point. I anticipate adding about 10 railroads for Mexico and adding about 20 railroads for Canada. So, at you know, at any rate, and the current railroads that we have in the U.S. set in what I've been referring to as the 130, which is the 130 maps in the base game, 130 railroads in the base game, those are going to stay in the 130 because they are important enough to have showed up there. Is the Edaville and South Station canon? You know what? Don't let your dreams be dreams. You can make your own canon. Make a train cannon, even. Um, so, I still have house selected on the thing. Like 1-story house, simple. This is like a big shotgun house. So let's do that. Let's actually put a couple of these next to one another in the back here. Just like close to one another. Like a couple of them built on the same plot, which might have been part of this at one point. Let's put that there. We love the train cannon. And if you want the if you want the branded version, it's more expensive, but I've heard it's worth more. Or yeah, I've heard it works better. The Porter gun. This is a cute little house. This will fit right in. I'm always hesitant when I see something like Japan House or Czech House or Polish House or Russian House, because sometimes the vibes are just way off. But no, that one works. These are all warehouses. J.A. Cottage. Yeah, this is also Japanese, I think, but it might as well be American. What is a Porter gun? Well, I wish I could show you. Oh, excuse me. The soda's already getting to me. If you're in oh, hold on. You are. Hold on. Where's the most recent place the Porter gun has been? Where's there it is. I'm gonna forward this to streaming and recording, and I'm gonna ping you in there. I think that's the right person. I can't really see. Anyway, these houses with the massive garages, I'm so not interested in. Um, all right, let's do this. This is like the house that would belong to the teacher from Matilda. Which love Matilda. So anyway, Merger Mania. Breaking things up. So what we ended up doing with states that I'm finally happy with is we took the GDP per capita of all those states and we augmented it by the size of the state down to half, which is to say the smallest states get a 50% point reduction and the largest states just get their full points. Um, so, yeah, that's what I ended up settling on, and that's like one of those things that it was frustrating me late into the night, and I went to sleep, and I realized at 1:30 a.m. when I was done doom scrolling and couldn't fall asleep, that wait a minute, I can do this, and I know how to do it. Like the formula came to me in a almost dream. Um, which is to say, if you're struggling with something for like hours on end, maybe just take a nap. Maybe take a nappy nap. You might get the answer. It might show up. Um, okay. I'm trying to make sure these are like the same distance from the road. These on this side, they're all much closer than on this side, so I might have to go into Surveyor 2 and adjust that. Um, Before I was bringing them up to like there. That's probably where I should be aiming. But some of these just felt better further from the roadway. This one can get closer. Um, it's the way it is. And these houses aren't even that close together. Like you could get closer. What was that I just saw? Like the connected buildings. You. What are you? What is this? Oh, it's a house with a detached garage. Okay, sure, why not? Let's put this on the corner. How about it? Okay, so big drip. Um, so when I looked at the other stuff, and I decided to add some more like interesting point augments. So right now, with the way the 2.0 sheet is set up, which isn't to say that it's set up much, because it doesn't have any railroads in it, it just has formulas. Um, you get, at the end of the game, you get your railroad points, right? Tomorrow. You're going tomorrow? The show starts on Saturday. Um, you get your points for your railroad. You have your railroad, like the overhead, the minus points for every railroad that you purchased. Now, uh, that is no longer a flat minus 100 points. It is minus 100 points at the start of the game, and it goes down the more railroads are purchased, the more railroads are acquired. If you have a if you have most of the railroads in the game gone, that minus 100 is going to get down to about minus 50. So you're inclined to keep the game going longer by taking some larger roads instead of taking a bunch of little ones, because it's going to help your point. It's going to help your overall points, and that takes away from your raw score, if I remember right. That is it just takes your railroad score and subtracts a given amount. Then you take that leftover score and you add in um, the the point shares is what I called them. The point shares are your sections of the state points and your sections of the major metro points. Um, they are relatively straightforward. Like I said, if a state is worth 100 points and you have one railroad in it and your opponent has one railroad in it, you each get 50 points. If if player A has one railroad, player B has one railroad, and player C has two railroads, well then player C gets 50 points and the other two get 25. So that's the basis of all that. You also get an extra percent added onto that for every state you have, and you get an extra 2% added on to, sorry, extra 1% for every metro, and extra 2% for every state, I think, or maybe vice versa. So the more states you have, the more line go up. Oh right, I need to do some driveways first, don't I? So then you take that score, and there's a percentage bonus. There's a percentage bonus for touching oceans. Yeah, it's for touching oceans. Percentage bonus for touching oceans. So like each of Atlantic and Pacific, you get an extra 10% lopped onto your score. If you get the Gulf or the Great Lakes, that's an extra 5%. And if you get Hudson Bay, and that only applies if the Canada roads are in play. But if you get Hudson Bay, then you get an extra 2%. Excuse me, 2%. And that might not seem like much, but it adds up and it compounds multiplicatively. As in, if you happen to, if you get both of the major, there we go. There's the gravel road I was looking for. If you get both of the major oceans, you don't get plus 20 for 10 plus 10. You get plus 22 because it compounds percent. Can I hang out at the PN booth on Saturday if I'm not volunteering? Yes, because you're a member, but don't be in the way. At the very least, you can store stuff. If you've got stuff and you need to store stuff, you can put it in there. Let's just do one big asphalt driveway down the middle here. Then I'll keep an eye on it for you. Lafayette and I will keep an eye on it for you. Lafayette will be attending the show, if anyone was curious. We don't have Jersey, but we do have Laffy. And yeah, and you can hop in and sit in the chair for a little bit. But some members have been some members have been vocal about non-members, the horsemen, sitting at, taking up space at the booth. And while no one has explicitly complained about members sitting in the chair when they're not volunteering, it's kind of unusual that a member will go to the show and not volunteer, at least in my understanding. Or at least will do that and then come around the booth other than to say hello, So in future, I certainly recommend that you volunteer. It's free admission to the show. All you have to do is spend, 2 hours of your time at the booth, and we'll give you a name badge. You can get right in. But, it doesn't work every year. It doesn't, it's not necessarily always conducive, whatever your schedule is, to volunteering at the show. Let's do that. Yeah, and I know how hard it is when you're not your own motive power, when someone's got to drive you to and from, when someone's got to, go around the show with you, especially if they're not as railroad inclined, let's just say, it can be a big ask, oh, come here, spend the whole day with me. Yeah. I was telling my mother to come, just for kicks, and I said, "Well, your grandpup's gonna be there. Where is he, by the way? Where's the dog? He's not outside, is he? Okay. Well, I'm sure he's around. Um, yeah, leaving by one is missing so much of the day. I used to go, and as soon as I could go as a volunteer and stay the whole show, I was in. I was sold. I was never not doing that. And I've been to the Big E many years in a row now because that's what I do on that weekend. Um, yeah. Anyway, to finish the Mergermania thought, there's one more score augmentation. Well, there's two, but there's one that's important. The one that's important is the taxes. Instead of a nation bonus, well, if you're playing with all the DLC, if you're playing with US, Canada, and Mexico enabled, um, then there is no bonus for touching another country, and instead there is a tax for going through other countries. Um, Now, the rationale is, well, in part the realism of. Sorry, I get a frog in my throat. The realism of having to deal with sort of government oversight in multiple nations is a strain on a railroad's resources, but also the rewards for getting into a given nation. The rewards for getting into a given nation are, what's the word? Are, well, their own reward. They're worth it. If you are doing that, if you're crossing into Canada and picking up a bunch of stuff, you're gonna make it worth your while, because the tax is flat. It's just like an extra. It's a 2% knocked off your score right at the end, uh, and then of course there's a discontinuity penalty. That's always been there, and it's gotten worse. This time it's actually gotten better. What the discontinuity penalty does now, or in 2.0 will do, is it just cancels all your bonuses. You don't get the percentage bonus for connecting states and countries, and percentage bonus from oceans. Um, I'll drive the modules up in my truck. We always need that. That would be very helpful. So that is appreciated. Make sure you take your measurements though, because I know some people with pickups and they can't fit the modules. They were designed very specifically to fit in like a given truck or set of trucks, and just like the people that did that don't anymore. So take your take measurements and go for it. I'm sure they'll fit in like your average F-150. They just might not fit in like a Ranger. Let's see. Let's grab the gravel drive. Let's bring it all the way behind here. Um, the other thing, well, I guess Jack is always going to be doing the show because that's his thing. So you'll probably only have to carry one, which is nice. Let's do this by the side of the house, and then let's see. It's 7:48. We spent quite a while playing not Tetris this time around because it's we did pretty well. Hold on, I'm gonna grab a garage. No, not like that. Excuse me. And with the fact that this is, well, no, whatever. There we go. Let's go with a cement driveway for this one, for concrete driveway. We're just gonna keep shaking things up. And this guy, let's make these side by each. Why not? Although this one doesn't have to go all the way to the back. There we go. And finally, this one, we already know where the driveway is going to be because there's a car there. When I made Olive, I put in a lot of detail, and I put cars in all the driveways and things like that. And this will not be that way. But at least we'll have one house with a car on the drive. All right, now we got to do fences. Fences and walls and other things of that nature. Now, I want this to be one big... What is this kind of fence? Yeah, no, this is fine. I want this to be one big area with a really nice fence. This is a really nice fence, I'm not gonna lie. And then this got like sold off and subdivided, and maybe they put up an extra fence here. So there's just gonna be like a big H shape of these fences. Now, honestly, this fence would probably not be the one, right? Because this is not the kind of fence that is necessarily going to stand up for super long, but it'll stand up for long enough. I mean, okay. Okay. I want to make sure that they're at least like, like they're giving lip service to being at right angles. If we can't do that, we can't do anything. This can just end right there. Alright. Alright, well, we've got one. Let's keep going. Not trackside fence, not like a guardrail. This is actually a pretty nice fence, like nice picket fence. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it around this house, this little white house on the right. Let's put this here. This, like, very narrow plot of land, but, it is what it is. And then I think I might add some like, dirty grass stuff back here. Usually when I have too much room, I start filling in with bits that are a little unkempt. Also, I need to figure out what I'm doing with that ground right there. I'm not sure exactly what. I don't remember why I left it blank. But I'm sure I had an idea at that point. Speaking of ideas, the ideas doc got closed on me. I had maybe a dozen tabs open for Tolbrand, and now most of them are gone. I don't know what happened to them. They just all closed. 2 of them stayed. Everything else stayed. All of my other tab groups, they're perfectly fine. But the Tolbrand tabs, nope, they're mostly gone. It's not anything critical. It's just the documentation that I had open, and I can go and reopen it again, and I will, when I need it. But it's kind of perplexing that, it's like I've been targeted. And that leads me to a thought about Trainz, the software, and how I was told not to update today because there's a big problem that's breaking trackside objects, apparently. Now, I don't know if that would necessarily apply to me, because I'm not simulating anything right now. I'm not running trains. I'm not in the game. I'm just here, right? Excuse me. But nevertheless, I didn't want to take a chance and end up breaking the route and having to go back and fix things. So I decided not to update the game. Which is, maybe a good thing, but also kind of a bummer, because, oh, this is a really nice fence. Or this is a really nice stone wall. Is there another wall that we should be replacing that one with? Or replacing with that one because I didn't like it? Yeah, this one. This one. This one. Alright, hold on. We're going into... Let me put this down so I don't lose it. And then we're going to jump into Surveyor 2. And I'm going to go, give me that. And then I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to replace spline with selected asset. That is so much, that is worlds better. I like that a lot more. Replace spline with selected asset. And I just heard like some kind of vehicle outside, and my fat self was like, "Oh, is someone delivering food?" I don't know why that's where my brain went. I had a big bowl of mac and cheese before we started this, uh, and yet, like my internal fatness cannot be tamed. Hello, Signal Man. What a thing to come in on. Anyway, this area back here is still going to be quite a bit to work on. At least it wasn't cursed bridge PTSD. Oh, I've got more bridge stories. I'll tell you. Um, well, I've got more stories. I don't necessarily have more bridge stories. That stone wall that we were just looking at, though, probably would have been useful here. What's up is that it's 7:55, which means it's about time for me to change the... Alright, well, we can't be friends, Train Street. I'm sorry. Damn, that's a shame. I really started to like that guy. Just kidding. I mean, I know some other folks that also don't like mac and cheese. I find it perplexing, but I get it. You know, you like what you like. I'm never going to like get uppity at someone's food tastes. I might get uppity at someone's food classification. For example, if they thought something was something else or was not something else. I'm not going to name names or specifics here because you know, let's not speak to those who can't defend themselves, and let's not start an argument right now. But still trying to find a mac and cheese I like. Well, I mean, if you just don't like mac and cheese, it depends what you don't like about it, right? If you're still trying stuff that says to me like you like the concept speaks to you, but just the execution isn't there yet. Uh, but I get the mac and cheese at steaming tender when I go. Let me fill this in here. There we go. Heard from the owner of the Durbin and Greenbrier / operative Cast Scenic the other day. He told me to expect something job-wise this spring. Ooh, shoot! I thought you were reporting news, and then you dropped a job. That's right. Which will give me plenty of time to reinsert my 242 card. All right, that's cool. That's great to hear. I wish you luck. Cass is a cool place. I've I had the pleasure of visiting not too long ago, and why can't I go past these? What's wrong with these? I like Cass a lot. It was a really cool ride. Excuse me. Goodness gracious. This is why I shouldn't be doing soda. This is getting there, though. I mean, we have a lot to go, but this is good. These I don't know what these are. They look like Fardrot. I'm afraid to place them. Oh, it's that. It's overhead wire. That's interesting. I bet you if I knew German, that would be more helpful. I'm going to assume that's German. Appreciate it, bro. Sucks not working right now since CSX got rid of a bunch of us, which, yeah, that blows. Being at the whims of the Class 1s has got to be no fun. It's given me time to get stuff done at the fire hall and on the house in the meantime. Yeah, I mean, if you've got, if you've got something lined up and you've got, unemployment to sort of rest on for the time being, which, thank goodness for that, then you can, you can spend some time just like vibing in between, and that's nice. That's a nice change from the craziness. Why is there only grass on one side and wall on the other? That's all right. This is out. We're not doing that. Oh right, and let me pop the search filter back open. Cass seems like more fun to work for than CSX. I would bet on that. I mean, most of the time you're going to have more fun on a heritage operator than you are on a class 1, I would feel. You certainly don't have quite as contentious of a relationship with management, I would expect. No one's screaming about the shareholders. At least I'd hope not. And the only trade-off is it's a relatively thin field, and the pay isn't quite as good. I would imagine, uh, but you get to do what you love. Uh, Considering CAS doesn't have MTOS from other terminals flying drones around trying to get you fired, yeah. The only people flying drones at CAS are the foamers. Which I would say guilty as charged, but I don't own a drone. It's one of those things. It's sort of like we talked about using AI the other day, maybe a couple weeks ago, I think last episode, and I talked about how like it's Pandora's box to me, and I don't want to open it. Like I don't want to understand how to use it because I'm afraid I'm going to want to use it too much. And I feel that way kind of about drones as well, because you know it seems really cool, but I'm sure it would turn into the thing where it's like, oh, I want to bring it over here, I want to bring it over here, I want to look over here, like Eyes in the Skies. Hello, Hot Rail. Eyes in the Skies is fantastic, and I bet it looks amazing. And like, who doesn't want to fly, right? Except for people who are deathly afraid of heights. But that's that. And being in a drone that you can stick your camera on and see in the great distance, like and just get that perspective. Oh my god, I'm just thinking about it. I'm excited. Like I want to do that. I would want to do that. But I feel like if I did it, I wouldn't be able to put it away. Like I'd want to do it too often. Um, I'd want to bring it. I'd want to bring my drone everywhere. I'd want to do this and that and the other thing with it. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna get in trouble, or I'm gonna like accidentally fly it into a tree, or into a lake, or into the side of a building, or something. I would end up ruining it for myself and other people, with absolute certainty. Um, Massive property in upstate New York, and the only time I've ever used my drone was flying it around there. Wow. Uh, my old spot of CSX is basically just a short line, no manifest trains, only locals. It's not long for this world the way it's going, which sucks because it's some of the oldest and prettiest. Well, if nothing else, we can hope for some sort of short line operator to pick it up with whatever is left. Somehow they keep getting operators over the Rockland branch. Now I understand that there is another operator that has deigned to pick up service on the Rockland branch, which is very exciting for fans of the Rockland branch like me, because that's how you get to the WMNF. Foamer, not Foamer Valhalla, Foamer Mecca, one of the happiest places on Earth. And the place where they make it fun to swing a hammer, seriously. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I love that place. If they could only spell my name right, it would be even better. But yeah, they keep finding operators for the Rockland branch, which is astounding to me, because I don't even know how many customers there are left on it. Maybe like 3, and they're all really low volume customers. So I really expected it to fall like into absolute obscurity, and maybe Amtrak would extend the Downeaster over it, and that's the only trains that would be there. You know, in the most bizarre timeline I could think of, Amtrak would bring up like an MP15 and switch out the 3 industries with that, on like a weekly basis or whatever, which would be really funny. It's probably against Amtrak's like, bylaws to switch out freight customers, but wouldn't that be funny? Um, let's actually swap this with this. Um, As much as they made my life hell for 2 years, they gave me a lot of experience. I gave them a lot and did a lot for them, and they threw me aside, so I'll give my knowledge. Yeah, well, I'm sorry to hear that. That's just the way it goes in that world, I suppose. And it's not much better in other big industries either. There's a lot going around in the engineering world about how the way you get up in the ranks isn't to stay at the same company. Like company loyalty is not rewarded anymore. You switch whenever you get the opportunity. Whenever somebody offers you more money or a better position, you leave your company and go to the next one because they're all the same anyway. You sit down, you do your job, and you go on to the next, and that's it. And I recently took an offer from another company which was offering me more money and maybe a better position and maybe a maybe a better vacation policy and things like that. And oh my god, that's a tall fence. I thought this was going to be like a fancy fence. This goes around a prison. Holy crap. um Downtown fence. Okay, that's for the rough neighborhoods. Which honestly, this would not be a great neighborhood. I've just, I'll pay you to do 27-mile short line in Texas. In Trainz, I don't think you're barking up the right tree. Um, that's the size fence they have around the maintenance away yard at Westerly Station. Yeah, that is a really keep people out kind of fence. Um, I don't do commissions because this is fun for me. 145 bucks. Yeah, no. Uh, uh, 27-mile short line. For the record, this this is 30 miles end to end on the railroad. Uh, this is 30 miles. If anyone wants to if anyone wants to go and find the very first episode of Under Construction, it's it was a long time ago. Uh, so if you think about it, if I'm doing 3 hours a week, which even that might be a little bit what's the word? That might be a little bit excessive. That might be more than the truth. Um, oh shoot! I did it the wrong way again. Oh wait, no. The bars are on this side, but the posts are on that side. What an interesting fence. Um, this is the kind of house that would have. Um, this is the kind of house that would have uh, a greenhouse in the back, and I'm gonna put it there. So yeah, if somebody wants to go and check how long it's taken me to get 30 miles down the way on this railroad, and it's been a long time. I got fed up with CSX towards the end and was on the fence about trying to get on with Cass after they got rid of me. Gwen encouraged me to try to get on there, and it sounds like it's going to work out for you, and that sounds really cool. Yeah, I didn't take the offer from the other company. Um, I like where I am. I'm comfortable, and my current company offered me the same amount of money, just like to bring it back. Um, and I said, sure, why not? What the hell? I'll stay. Um, because I get to work from home and everything. It's kind of like a win-win-win for me. Um, whoa, what? Oh, that's the cemetery entrance. Why don't I just type greenhouse instead of scrolling through everything that's green? Yeah, this. Excuse me. Waiting for them to build fences on the huge mount. I'm waiting for them to build huge fences on the mounds at Edaville. I haven't been back to Edaville. I need to go. I absolutely need to go to Edaville. I mean, I share the first name and middle initial with the guy. I feel like I have to. let's put this like here. And then what I want to do is probably run a... I know, I hear you about July. You're going to have to remind me when it gets closer because I will forget. I want to go, but I will forget. This is going to be a little bit unkempt. We've got a lot of stuff to do over here. Tickets aren't on sale. I'll ping you in the chat when they are. Okay. Is that for a particular event? Like a charter or something? Because I would probably prefer to go just on a random day. I don't need to get caught up in the crowd. But I don't know how Essex. I don't know how Edaville necessarily operates. No, just for a day, Edaville. Oh, okay. But it strikes me as a place where, you know, when they got purchased by their current owners, it was like I wasn't sure if they were going to end up being open for just events or what. Like they didn't seem to know what they wanted to do with the place, and they weren't being particularly forthcoming with answers when they came up with them. But you know, it's been a while. It's been a while since I've talked to anybody from that organization. Okay. Support the department. Hopefully, we'll be able to start a dream job this year. That's always something you want to hear. Glad year 2025 is looking up. Let's put this here. Let's do this. The fences are such a time suck. Like, we're already at 8:15. We're probably going to only do 2 things today because I'm going to spend all this time on the fences. Somebody, the current owner of Edaville is the owner of the Grafton and Upton, and he also owns MBTA 1013. SN 1013 Edaville, yeah. Oh, you know what? You know what? This... No, you know what? We're not going to do that. I'm trying to think, like, that junk fence. I kind of wanted to use that, but I just don't have a place for it. Some of these are so fancy, you're just, like, never going to use them. This 4-rail fence. This is for, like, a horse pen. I don't know why I would put it around my house. Unless, you know, I have horses. What is this? This is actually kind of cool. The fact that it has a little grass spline that goes with it is damn near perfect. You could use this line side and it would look great. And I hope that people will find stuff from this series and go, ah, look at that. Like, I want to use that. You know, and you can see the QIDs in the bottom right if you ever don't know what something is. Fence only. Okay, you can get fence only, fence with grass, and grass only. Which, wow, that is a great little grass spline. I'm going to have to use that again. Yeah, this looks great when you're home on the range, right? Having this open fence. Like, I would expect to look out this way and see, like, the rolling prairie, but instead I see someone else's house and a tank farm. Not ideal. Not what I would call ideal. Not what I would call a beautiful aesthetic. But, you know, to each their own. Maybe this fence was cheap. It probably was cheap. Anyway. Have I heard about the upcoming auction of 587? I have. I keep joking about them making another movie. And if you haven't seen 587, The Great Train Robbery... you might be better off that way. It's not very good. However, it is a great like Foamer movie, genuinely. It's a bad movie, but it's a great movie for specific people. I'm one of those people. I grew up watching that movie. It's near and dear to me, even though I recently watched it, and by recently I mean about 6 years ago, and it was not easy to get through. It was bad. It was bad in all the ways that a movie can be bad, and I have even more of an eye for that kind of thing now than I did then. I bet if I watched it, I'd be losing it. But that doesn't mean I won't cry when they're getting the engine out of the yard and onto the main line. Just putting that out there. What? Are you listening to me?
Yeah, we're in the same room. How can I not?
Well, because usually, sometimes you have your headphones on and then you can't hear me, and I'm saying stuff and you can't hear me. But yeah, I mean, I'll put in a dollar bid. I'll put in a bid on the 587. Why not? If nobody outbids me, then all I have to do is find a place to put a large Mikado. Oops, I might not have thought that through. But you know what would be a great wedding present to myself? An entire steam engine. So talking about Cass made me realize something. Cass, CSX, and the department all have 3 stories about deer dying in strange ways. Ball peen hammer, sledgehammer, and the cemetery fence in that order. It's smaller than a Burke. That's true, but I really wasn't going to try to fit a Burke at my house. That said, you know, I'm sure I'll find a place for it. It'll become it'll just, you know, I bet you I could fit it in the driveway. I won't be able to fit anything else in the driveway, but you know, that's not important. This dude has like a privacy fence. Build a large lean-to, yeah. I'm gonna go down to Home Depot and I'm gonna say, I need something that is, you know, what are the dimensions of that locomotive? How large is it? It's, you know, probably what, like 100 tons? I mean, I'm not gonna be saying that to Home Depot. I'm gonna be saying like, I need, you know, X tall, X wide. It's probably what, like 20 feet tall. It's a, you know, it's not a small locomotive. Deer walk department. More like deer kill. So what's the line? So consider you're a deer. I think that's what it is from my cousin Vinny. You can put your lips down and take a drink of cool water, and boom, someone blows off half your head. What a great movie that is. I always end up talking about movies. Get you a tarp and toad, it'll fix it. Yeah, I'll just put a tarp over it. No, don't worry about it. You know, nobody look. Thank God I don't have an HOA. You know what's amazing is Gloria is allegedly listening to me and has not yelled at me once during this entire conversation. I don't think they understand what I'm going to buy.
What are you buying?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
What are you buying?
Nothing. I'm not going to buy anything.
I'd not be buying anything.
I might put on a bid on it, though. You know, if we don't end up getting that Loki, it would be a nice alternative. But no, I mean, they should really get it. Somebody should get 587. I don't know who it would be best for. I don't think Essex is the right people for it. As much as they need a 4th locomotive, I think like it'd be going from an engine that's way too big to an engine that's not quite as too big, but still too big. You know, it is not quite as heavy as the Frisco thing, but it's not small. Fort Wayne would be great for it. I just don't know if they have it in them to buy another locomotive. I don't even know what are their facilities like. Uh, 587 is only 71 feet long with a tender, so that's only 10 feet longer than the distance from home plate to the pitcher's mound. Are you suggesting we store it at Fenway Park? Uh, Essex should get 32, 39. Is that the S1B? Um, the S1B has a minimum weight of rail of like 85. It's not small, and I don't think it would help. Um, uh, I think it would be equally as foolhardy for them, equally as foolish for them to get one as it would be for them to get the other. Um, in fact, can someone jump on steamlocomotive.com and pull up the minimum weight of rail of 587? I need to know for science, for scientific purposes. I need to know what is the minimum weight of 587, minimum weight of rail. Um, Essex should buy CNJ 113. Oh God. Listen, someone needs to take care of it, and they sure aren't. I keep grabbing the same fence because I like it. At least it's not running anymore. At least it's not about to blow up and kill people. Which would have been really upsetting if I was not there. So, you know. 92 pounds? It's 92 pounds? Oh my god, that's I think the exact same as the that's I think the exact same as the Frisco engine, which is bonkers. I did not realize 587 was that big. Um and that's yeah, that's heavy. Like the S1Bs are 85, and the next largest engine, the largest engine at the Valley Railroad is the SY, and that has a minimum weight of rail of 65. So like they don't want that. They don't want that. They are not going to get 587 because even if they can get it for like a single dollar, I don't think it's going to be worth it to them. Um, Age of Steam is probably that's a reasonable place. Oh, to answer the question of what's going on with the 113 safety-wise, they just haven't maintained it. It's in really poor shape, and it keeps springing leaks. Like, it keeps, pinhole leaks in tubes and flues and stuff like that. Um, you know, the story goes that, well, they failed their FRA inspection like 4 or 5 times in a row. And on the final time, they brought the guy in there and they sprung some sort of steam leak, or the FRA man got injured in some way, shape, or form. There are a lot of stories circulating, and I don't really want to give credence to any particular one because I don't have enough knowledge of the inside of that organization, and I don't really want anybody I don't want to hear from anyone that wasn't there. Because like anything else, it's way too easy to get caught up in the FOMR BS. And, I'm guilty of it too. And, the truth will get around the world before, a lie will get around the world before the truth is finished putting on its shoes. And that's just the way the world works. If you can keep a lid on it for like 10 minutes to look up something and see if it's true, you will save a lot of people a lot of time, and you'll save yourself a lot of headache. Something I always do, the moment I hear a story that is even the least bit outrageous, I go and look it up. Because I want to read and I want to understand and I want to know what's true and what isn't. Every time you read a headline, you're being sold something. And it's usually for you to click on an article. And especially in this day and age, you've got to be investigative. No one is going to feed you the whole story because half of the news articles are written by AI that doesn't know what truth is. So, and that isn't an exaggeration. This is the problem with AI. Just to talk about it one more time, the problem with language models is they have no concept of the truth. And I don't even mean that my lying ex-partner or whatever has no concept of the truth because all they did was eat hot chip and lie. No, no, no. I mean that, like, they don't know what a lie is. They don't know what the truth is. There is no, like, checks or balances or verification or anything like that um, for a language model, because that's not what it's about. It's not about fact checking. It's not a fact checking model. It is stringing together words that tend to go together. Is that truth more often than not? It can be, but it isn't perfect, and it doesn't know when it's wrong. It doesn't know that it can be wrong because there really is no quote-unquote wrong for a language model. All it's doing is putting words together in a way that tends to make sense. Um, so, yeah, and yeah, you're right. Yeah, the S1Bs is 85, and that's a lot. That's more than 3025 by like 20 pounds. So you're not gonna want that. You're not gonna want to deal with that if you are the Valley Railroad. You need a place where you can like grip it and rip it. You know, if they had a Steam shop, 587 would be great at Cuyahoga. 587 would do great at Cuyahoga. 3025 is still pretty big, but as far as Mikados go, it's pretty middle of the road. Like, it's not a small locomotive, certainly. It's not, a prairie or anything like that, and there are some big prairies out there, so whatever. But wheel arrangements are not a monolith. But, it is the kind of thing where it's orders of magnitude, Okay. All right, so we got to get back to this, right? Also, this is a classic railroad town situation. You've got a road that crosses 7 tracks and then goes 20 feet, crosses 2 more, goes 20 more feet, and crosses another. Like, this bonkers place. Yeah, Big Prairie ATSF has entered the chat. Yeah, I think 1010 is winning Joe's poll for Railroader. So I was of the opinion, speaking of Mikados, and I didn't enter a lot of stuff in that poll that I thought was legitimate. Should probably do good on the Cass River line, but that's why they got Buffalo Creek and Gauley. Yeah, number 4. I need to take a ride on the river line now that's intact. Right, like they put that, they connected up the 2 ends relatively recently, and I think that was after I was there. So I need to go back, if for nothing else for that, but also to like go and ride Cass, on a day that I'm not exhausted, because that was towards the end of a long trip, and I'm sure Gloria remembers we were both kind of racked out at that point. We were like on the verge of meltdown because we both hadn't slept. And also the food at Cass was kind of bad. Worst Italian sub ever had in my life was at Cass. And that contrasts really interestingly with the fact that, like, 2 days later, Gloria and I were in Cleveland, and I had the best Italian grinder I've ever had in my life. And, like, not the place I expected to get that food. Just throwing that out there. River went into service 2023. They're actually running it during part of the winter now. Mountain is open late spring to end of October. I had a meatball sub at Cass. It wasn't great. Yeah, it's just, like, eh. The food there is not what you would call impressive. And that was a long and chaotic trip. Right, baby? The West Virginia trip was long and chaotic, and by the time we took our ride on Cass, we were kind of done. Yeah. Cass needs a Texas Roadhouse. You shut up. Shut up before Casey hears you. She's driving right now, so she won't see that. But Uh, okay. The Almost Heaven Smokehouse, the restaurant in the company store, is hit and miss. But there's a restaurant in the trading post on the other side of the bridge. I think that's where we. I can't remember which is which. Hold on. I'm pulling up a map. Uh, Almost Heaven Smokehouse. Maps. I can't spell maps for some reason. Cass. Scenic Railroad State Park. There's that. There's the Cass Trading Company. That in the Cass Trading Company is where I got the worst sandwich ever. Um, and then across the way in the company store, I wasn't like disappointed by the food there, but I definitely wasn't appointed by it. Is there another restaurant the inside the thing? Because I thought there was like something upstairs. Also, someone's got a hell of a cool car on Street View. Anyway, sorry, don't mean to get distracted. Um, Everyone at Cass should be blessed with Texas Roadhouse cinnamon bread. Honestly, if there was a Texas Roadhouse at Cass, I'd probably go. I can't not say that. Like the bread is good enough to make me want to go, and the food around there is bad enough to make me accept accept Texas Roadhouse as my savior in this situation. It needs a Logan's Roadhouse. Is that a local steakhouse? And again, I'll say I'm not one for steakhouses because I don't like steak, and I don't know what's wrong with me, but I just don't like it. Uh, I don't dislike it, but I just don't get anything out of eating it. Oh, the restaurant inside the store has changed operators. Okay, interesting. Um, Either way, I mean, if and when I ever get back to Cass, first of all, I'll come and say hi to you. Second of all, uh, I will. Okay, straight spline. I will try some of the food. I'll do a little sampler. Um, went to Texas Roadhouse after Edaville last month, and Texas Roadhouse bread hits so much better at 9:30. I don't remember what time we went to the one in Flagstaff, but like nothing in that Texas Roadhouse was hitting. I'll tell you that much. We went to it for the meme, and I'm not upset that we went to it. Like I accept that we went to it for the meme and not for the food. But like I'm just so disappointed in Texas Roadhouse. Um, just in general, I don't think I've ever been more disappointed in a restaurant. Um, there's a ton of restaurants in Elkins, and there's a Subway about 10 minutes away from Cass. Oh yeah, there you go. It's just like, you know, there are so many places where I think I am in a place I've never been to. Let me try the local fare. Like, let me go to local restaurants. Let me try, sort of like the local food to an extent. Like, I'm not going to go have Rocky Mountain oysters, but I'll get something. I'll get something up there. I'll try a burger with the green chili on it, with the hatch green chili on it. You had one of those, right, babe? You had an omelet with the green chili on it. Yeah, there you go. I'll try stuff like that. I'll try local stuff. Uh, I just don't know what the local cuisine of West Virginia is, and to me it just seems like doing everything else badly. Um, did you have a pepperoni roll when you were here? I don't think so. Uh, I'll bring Texas Roadhouse to the XPN business meeting. Just bring like a big thing of the rolls. Just bring a big thing of the rolls. Um, Apparently, I've been told they sell them at Walmart. Um, so they sell the butter with them. Um, See, the Grange has like we've got snacks after every meeting, right? The PN doesn't do that. But the thing with the Grange is the meetings are much smaller, and like one person volunteers to do it every meeting, instead of the PN, which would be like kind of a mess. Okay. Something I kind of want to do. And I talked about this. I talked about putting a runaround here, like making this first track into a runaround. Um, Rocky Mountain oysters are a delectable treat. Have you had them? I want to know. Have you actually had them, Mopac? Because I'm not. I'll be honest. I'll try anything once, right? I'm not disinterested in the idea. Uh, like I'm not gonna throw it out the window entire. God damn it, throw it out the window entirely. But like I don't know what I'm getting into with Rocky Mountain oysters. If you've had them and if you liked them, then maybe I'll have to find the opportunity to have some. Pepperoni rolls are a local food. If you like breakfast foods, try Tudor's Biscuit World. We went to Biscuit World. That place was the best. That place was awesome. What'd you say? We did. We made a meme out of it the whole trip, and we finally went like the last day, and it was outstanding. Uh, I I wish we had a Biscuit World up here. What I would give, and I'm not even a breakfast food kind of person. Uh, on several occasions, they taste kind of like hush puppies with less seasoning. Interesting. I did not think I would hear testicles being compared to hush puppies today. But you know what? Sure. Um, okay, so part of me uh, is thinking I should have a a second track here. I'm just not sure what the functional use of that would be. Like the idea is you've got a manifest. It pulls off here, and then what? Because these tracks all tuck into this. It pulls off here. Everyone calls them calf fries. Interesting. It pulls off here. The locomotive comes off. It goes into there. Switcher comes out and starts dissecting it. The way these switches are pointed makes this kind of difficult. Um, and I'm only realizing that now. And something else I should probably do, because I want to have some engine ready tracks, right? Something else I should probably do is have a track come out of here. All right, like scoot this back to here. Scoot this over like that. Because this is going to be like your switching lead, right? This is going to be your switching lead up into here. Um, and yeah, these are really all pointing the wrong way for that. Like a start automation for up to 500 of the PN's bank, so I can pay for the volume of bread needed from Texas Roadhouse, with an optional 250 in case Ben goes through 4 baskets all by himself. Well, that'll be me. We've also got Hillbilly Hot Dogs and the Secret Sandwich Society. If you're ever in Parkersburg, West Virginia, you need to go to the pizza place located in the mall. Best pizza ever, and I'm fat, so I know. Oh, I respect that. I'm spiritually fat. Um, I have no idea how I'm not so much larger as a human being. Because I was in Virginia, not West Virginia, but Virginia. I was in Virginia. I was gonna say I was in D.C. technically, but no, I was staying south of Alexandria. I was very firmly in Virginia, and I go to a sports bar with my dad. We're there to see the Steelers game, so going to a sports bar, pretty on brand, right? And we're there to see the Commanders game, but the Steelers were in town. We were there for the Steelers. And, I'm like, oh, I'll get like whatever the serving of ribs was. It might have been like a half rack or something. And they plop that thing down in front of me, and I start going to town. And, like, I realize, like, at one point my dad is like, "Are you gonna take that? Like, are you gonna take the rest of it home?" And I was like, "What do you mean the rest of it?" And I demolished the entire thing. Uh, and I'm fat. I'm spiritually fat. I eat. I eat, John. It's what I do. Um, okay, so we'll use this as an engine ready track, and we'll tie it into that right there. Um, and I actually probably need to pull it back a little bit so that I get the okay. It's trying to do the frogs, but it's not succeeding. Um, yeah, for today's class, we'll be dissecting a train. That's basically what it is in Railroader when somebody puts you in charge of handling interchange. Uh, you know, bros straight up on the Shaggy diet. Absolutely. Like 5 Shaggies, maybe. Uh, so, what I want to do, and I ate half a rack of ribs at a barbecue restaurant in Dallas, Texas in November, and I was still hungry afterwards. I respect that. So, what I need is, I need a spot for engines to come off this without blocking this, and I think we're going to have to go for a single slip here. Yeah. Engines to come off this without blocking that, and what they be doing is... yeah, let's add one more track over here as well. Let's go into Surveyor 2. Because if you look at some rail yards, boy, the track arrangements are interesting. You can get away with a lot more than you'd think. Like Derail Valley is really sort of milquetoast on its track arrangement. And it's fine for what it is. It's a game. It doesn't have to be perfectly accurate, and it doesn't have to be, like, accurately complex, right? I'm thinking, like, the goofy arrangement at Ela for those who play Railroader kind of accurately complex, right? It doesn't have to be like that. It's a game. Everywhere has, like, a way to get to it, and there are a couple of challenges based around that, but not a ton. I think I want to scooch this way still. And comparing Derail Valley and Railroader is something that's something of a pastime on this channel now, because those are the two best train games out there. That's not much of a debate. There aren't too many like options even, but like it's the God's honest truth. Oh shoot, we need to find a way to get that in. Silva paperboard, yeah, as well. Like if you look at stuff in Railroader and look at stuff in DV, you see the difference between the difference between one kind of train game and the other, where it is okay, you have a situation where the track arrangement is realistic and it's also very interesting and challenging, and another one where the challenge is not supposed to be switching. Railroader is very much a game about switching. It's a railroad management game and switching puzzle generator, and for a lot of people that's more than enough. Derail Valley, on the other hand, is a game about driving trains, and all of the management stuff and all of the all of the management and like contract stuff, it only exists to make that premise more interesting. So it's very different take on that. Throwing Train Sim World on the list of best train games, it's not a train game. Train Sim World is not a game. It is a simulator, and there is an important difference. That's something, because if we want to talk about best train simulators, well, that's a different conversation, because you've got to bring in stuff like Trainz, Open Rails, a Train Sim World, Railworks, and Run 8 is another one. Run 8 is way up there, in terms of best train simulators. And honestly, for all its faults, it might be genuinely the best. It simulates better than anybody else. Uh, However, it's not a game. It's not a game. There are no points. There is no winning. It's just a world that keeps on going. Uh, and in train sim world and stuff like that, it is very much it's a world that you are doing scenarios in, and some of those scenarios are gamified, but it's a simulator. Uh, and I could go on and on about this, and I do. But like that's the biggest difference, and that's why when people say, "Oh, what train games should I start out with?" It's like, okay, what do you want though? What do you want? Do you want to drive stuff? Do you want to manage stuff? Do you want uh, to just go for a ride and sort of like look at the scenery around you? Because MSTS had that great feature, one of my favorite features in any train game, or in any train, software. Let's just expand it to say train software. Uh, and of course, of course, Signalman, no train simulator actually perfectly, simulates railroading. There's a lot more to it, but you know, you take what you can get. Um, at any rate, uh, MSTS had the like ride along mode where the train would just go, and that was awesome. I loved that as a kid. And there were routes that I never even finished the whole thing because it was so long. The Japanese one with the rail bus, I want to go back and take that ride again just so I can finally experience the entire thing. Um, what a great route that was. And, you know, I think if you're going to have an accurate train simulator, you almost have to start it like a game. You have to have a character that you go around in first person and you do stuff with. Uh, Derail Valley is a really good simulator, even though it's not a simulator because it's a game. Um, because you are boots on the ground with all this stuff. Because you go and throw the switch, you walk over to the switch and throw it yourself. Excuse me. Excuse me. I know. And, Run 8 has that kind of, but there's still a huge reliance on shortcuts, commands, flying around and no clipping and, you know, doing all stuff from your third person view. The thing that games miss and people miss about the way that these things work is you are not alone on the railroad. You will always have people that are working with you, and that that makes a difference in terms of gameplay. At least for now, you've got people working with you. Sorry, your conductor is in a truck, 3 hours away. He'll be there soon. Um, you broke a knuckle? Damn, that sucks. Too bad nobody's there. Um, okay, this was supposed to be an engine-ready track, and it's not really doing its job. Where's the engineer cussing and putting a trash bag over the engine seat because the previous one is an old-headed console? Jesus. That's a little much. Anyway, yeah, so this is your drill for the yard, this right here. And that should be long enough. To be fair, if you didn't sleep for 16 hours and then drank 2 Red Bulls before playing Run 8, you know what? That's a good point. I should ask Agilius to do that. Never broke a knuckle out on the rail, but I did bypass one so bad we had to call a car man. Ouch! That's a lot of damage. Okay. I think this is taking shape. We have an engine ready track, which is not a lot, but it's better than 0 engine ready tracks. The yard office is on the opposite side of the drill track, which is a little bit frustrating, I would imagine, for everyone involved. Um, but you know, what are you gonna do? Um, the other thing that I could do, honestly, and this just crossed my mind, you could add a turn off here, a turn out here, and then just run this way to that. You know, I really kind of like the way this is set up, so I'll probably leave it the way that it is. No, well, I'll add both. Why not? Both is good. Because I didn't know what to put in this area anyway. So, straighten spline. And then let's move this up just a little bit so Thomas isn't coming to breakfast. The bad thing was I'm a former carman. So when the carman got there, did he know you and was just like, "Come on, man. You know how much this is. You know how much this sucks." All right, hold on. Let me grab this because I want it to be parallel if I can help it. Not quite. All right. Yeah, not my problem though. Yeah, well, you know that's life on the railroad, isn't it? There we go. So this is now your drill track. Let's do this, and then let's do this. I did not. I got a DM just now that is not quite important enough to make me stop the show, but it's important enough for me to go, holy crap, I just received that DM. And I can't share what it is, but it might have something to do with the next batch of trading cards. Anyway, I got bored with one and broke 4 Bachmann easy couplers with a G-scale diesel. Okay. You're like the train equivalent of the dude in friggin' god damn it, Pixar movie with the toys. Why can I not remember? I'm getting old. Toy Story. Duh. There it is. You're like the kid in Toy Story, but specifically for trains. Like the one that destroys things. Sid. Yeah, Sid. Sid the sloth. No, wait. You know what would be nice? Now I need to use this space for something, and I don't know what to use it for. Because I mean, you know what? Actually, you know what this space would be great for? Like genuinely perfect for? A diesel shop. Let's find a diesel shop over here. Let's put a diesel shop in over here. Or like some sort of back shop, right? Surveyor Classic. I don't destroy. I only destroy broken stuff. I don't destroy nice stuff. Line the diesel shop with F40s. I wish we could be that based. Oh god, I forgot that I just wanted to scoot it over a little bit, and I forgot that I cannot do that. You know what? I should actually put this onto a separate track here. Also, that switch is a little pinched. Let's see, because this is this. I don't want to line that into there, but Worst thing about that story was that bypass happened only about a month after I went on the ground with 4 tanks, so I was already on his list. Only did 1,000 in damage to all 4 combined. Well, that's not too bad. Yeah, we need to have like a bunch of random tracks that don't go anywhere, because that's a rail yard for you. Show search filter. I need like a short shop. Like that's a little big, but that's like the right number of tracks for me. We're gonna do this again. We already had a problem with this where we couldn't find enough good shops, and now I need something that is small, but not too small. Um, what I need is something like we have over here, but maybe twice as long. Um, it is the diesel shop on Tidewater Point. It's just a reskin of the same one. And then there's the coach repair shop that we are going to use back behind us. Okay, let's get past these. Um, all right, that's cool. That's a great little place, surf shop, but not helpful. I guess we could also use like this and just put some stuff underneath it. We've got a pole barn. That's what we need. Um, Make them service outside for a class 1. Yeah, no, that's fair. This is like a compromise. I would like some kind of actual like enclosed building over here. Oh, like this. Little too modern, but it's getting there. Um, I want like a brick one. Oh, ooh. Yeah, like this. That's not brick, but that's sort of what I was thinking about. This is also not bad. This is also not bad, except it says CN on it, which that doesn't help. Um, what was that? Oh, that's the back shop. We already have that. This is a genuinely cool building we could put here if it wasn't just a bike shop. We have the erection shop. All right, that's a little too big for what we need. This was supposed to be a fairly major point for this, so shop building. No. Shop fried chicken. Suburban shop, town shop, SW 1500 with no wheels. Yeah. There aren't a ton. I just need like a brick building. I need a brick building that goes back here because I want to put it back here against the road and run some tracks back to it. The erection shop in New DMAG, yes, I absolutely agree. I could not agree more. Is this part of this building? Yup, sure is. So this is like a way station. So that means we gotta get away for these trucks to get out of here. When they're right up against the backside of a roundhouse, that's not ideal. I think I'll have to scoot this building just a little bit in this direction just to give enough clearance. So let's go back into 2.0. There we go. That's better. Make them cross every yard track. Yeah, I mean, make the truckers pay. So put this right here. Let's go back into Surveyor Classic because I can't search over here. Let's weigh each freight car at the weigh station. If it's over 50 ounces, send it to the scrapyard. Um, uh, let's see. What is this? I mean, this is kind of going in the right direction. This is kind of what I want. For like railroad offices. There. If you kit bash buildings, you'll never run into one that isn't unique. Let's grab this over here. So now the trucks leave over the roundhouse. Yeah, no, I don't want... I need to give them enough room to turn and get out and around here. Which means I actually can't block this driveway with this building as much as I would like to. Let's see, how many tracks can we fit in here? I mean, it looks like I should be able to fit 3, right? So let's try that. Let's bring them right up to the back of this building. Okay. There's one. I'm trying to make sure that it's centered properly and not going off to one side. Actually, the best way to do that would probably be to put it underneath one of the edges here. Like that. Oh, wait. Like that. The closer we get, the more accurate it's going to be. And then like that. And that seems to be about spot on, as good as we can get it. So now we'll go into Surveyor 2. And we'll use the adjustment tool here. Scoot it over. Make a copy, scoot it over. And make a copy, scoot it over. And now we just need to get this one centered. Compared to these two. If I can align my camera with the building, it should help because it'll look right when we're done. Alright, so we got 3 there. I do wish we had another, like, brick shop here. In fact, the Strasbourg shop. Somebody mentioned that. I might as well look it up. Strasbourg engine sheds. Oh wait, that's these. I would use that. That's not on the DLS, sadly. So let's pull a switch off here. Why are you mad? Why are you mad? Is this too long of a switch? Maybe it was. I could have sworn we've had longer, but, you know. It is what it is. Scoot this back. 6999240. We've got a lot of junctions on this railroad. And I know that it does not count up from 1, but 3,500 piece USS Enterprise D. Holy moly. That sounds amazing. But I wouldn't spring for that as quickly as I'd spring for the Enterprise No Bloody A, B, C, or D. Uh, I grew up on the original series, and I'm not getting away from it that easily. All right, good night, Train Street. Coming out on Black Friday if the rumor holds up. Well, you've got a little while to wait. Hopefully, they'll actually announce something between now and then. It also might be Kirk's Enterprise. That would be great. I would love that. I recently went to while I was in D.C., I took my dad to the Air and Space Museum so we could see the original prop. Um, for as long as I've played Trainz, I still have absolutely no idea how pattern in which the random junction numbers are generated. Don't worry, you're not alone. I don't either. I noticed that I think it's never an odd number, right? And I don't know what like cues it to go to the next like set of numbers, but it will jump up a bunch if it's worried like you're going to conflict, I guess. And if you merge two routes with the same junction numbers in, I don't actually know what happens. One time it started at 1,000,000 for you. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. It's kind of wild. Baby, you okay? What you doing? Damn. Alright, straighten that spline. That makes me want to save the game, so I'll do that. I'm gonna save the game so that nothing happens.
Yeah, it's okay. I didn't lose any of my progress, so I got to save it.
Oh, good.
So.
Look. Okay, I'll be over to you. Yeah, well, I got a message from about the. So I'm gonna have to respond to that. I don't actually know if my mouth was covered there at all. I hope you guys couldn't see that, although it doesn't really matter. We'll be seeing him over the Big E anyway. Too bad. Actually, you know what, babe? Too bad his wife's not going to be with him, because I'm sure she's thrilled that the Bills are, you know, a stone's throw away from the Super Bowl. Hello, Orion. The Big E is the Big E or the Big E Model Train Show or the Amherst Model Railway Society Festival, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's kind of a mouthful. They call it the Big E because it's at the fairgrounds of the Big E, which is like a giant county fair. And it is by some measures the world's largest train show, and that's coming up this weekend. I'm very excited. I've got some people coming in from out of town, and there as well as some folks that are gonna be there doing their own thing that I'm excited to meet up with. 3-minute summary of what you've missed. I'll do you one better. I'll make it like a 60-second summary. We made this block of houses because we started off doing residential stuff. I talked a lot about Merger Mania, and excuse me, then we moved on over here, and I started trying to fill this yard out. And we put in a place for diesels to hang out. And I'm gonna be adding another one here, just a couple of extra tracks for shop stuff. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put an industry back here. That is a little bit of chaotic fun. I'll put an industry back here. Let's find like some sort of warehouse or cargo dock. Warehouse with a loading dock. What is this? That's kind of interesting. Um, See, the idea of this area was, though, that there wasn't much here. I just sunk that straight into the ground. That there wasn't much here when they started building the the grain elevators. But maybe this was here. Maybe this specifically was here. Um, which would be kind of an interesting wrinkle. Uh, so yeah, then I started working on this. I adjusted this a little bit. I added 2 more yard tracks and the single slip switch to get from engine servicing over to those yard tracks. Um, I don't work with trains in my workplace directly, but I train on how to handle opening and closing them. We receive 50-foot high cube boxcars. Cool. Love that. I love rail served industry. Okay, so let's give me this and then I want that there. Oh wait, no, I probably want an extra spline point. I hold on, cock that up a little bit. Straighten that. Add spline point here, and that's not what I wanted to do. Wait, yes it is. Hold on. Straighten this, unstraighten this, straighten this, and knowing when to straighten and unstraighten is half decent track laying in this game. I'm gonna have to set all this back on the ground when we get done with it, because right now it's a real mess. Oh shoot, no, I don't want to do that. What I wanted to do was I wanted to put a fuel rack here, but I'm just not sure if there's going to be room for it if I'm trying to put this extra thing here. And the other thing is, I don't know if I'm going to have room for like an industry to drop off fuel, right? Because I need a spot for that. I mean, you can drop it off anywhere and just use a pipe, right? It doesn't have to be right here. Oh, the forklift calls, yes. Uh, the the celery stalks at midnight, or the narwhal bacons. Um, let's move that. And then yeah, we have this long long lead here. I could stick the fuel unloader like over here, because I wanted to put the fuel loader on this track. Um, excuse me. I would imagine what they don't want to do is have to run a pipe underneath the track. So, um, considering the fact that part of this roundhouse was already demolished, what I might do is add a switch here and then just have a siding there. But that doesn't make a ton of sense either. Um, hmm. I also said that we were going to put this sort of in line with everything else, and we did not. It's sitting over here. Let's see if I have a good fuel rack at all. because I know I have a small one and a big one, and both of those are not what I need. So if I take a look at this, if I punch in fuel, I need just like a fuel, like just like a pump thing. Sand and fuel, blah, blah, blah. This is 4 locos, 2 tracks. Which, I could put this over here even. That might not be too bad. If I can get the 3rd track out of the way, I could put this right here. Just kind of in a tight spot with this now. See, I had so much room earlier, and now I don't have any room at all. And I don't want to have, like, I don't want to have it in the way of the drill track, because I don't want freight trains bumbling under this thing. So, if we scoot one of these tracks over to the left, and then the other 2 over to the right... Oh, this was Union Pacific after all. Then maybe we can get away with it. Or we should swap this out with a different building that only fits 2 tracks. I don't know. Let's just see if I can make room for it. Let's see if I can make room for it. Or even if I can just adjust the tracks just a little bit so that you can get around on the right side. And it was already kind of helping me there. Because you can get away with some wacky stuff in like in a yard setting like this. If I jump back into 2.0 and I slide this to the right, then we definitely clear it. It's not pretty, but it does work. And if I want to, I can make it a little bit better by inserting a spline point there, inserting a spline point here, and then I have to unstraighten this and that, and re-straighten the ones underneath the fuel rack. Straighten spline. Straighten spline. Because I know I've said it before, but the Gilson Eastern is a railroad that is very much in the throes of the transition era. They are absolutely gripped by it, and it is not letting them go. Which is sort of it's contrary to how things are in some of the other railroads, because the VMR, the Volga Mountains Railroad, is very much, they're also gripped by it, but they're not in like a weird limbo state that that the Gilson Eastern is in. The Gilson Eastern is very much the Pensy mind, like, well, we're trying this diesel thing out, so let's sort of prepare for that. Let's get a whole bunch of everything and, call it a day. And yeah, there's no way we're getting this track over here anymore. Look at that. Look at that. There's no way. What if I, instead of putting it on these 2 tracks, I put it in this one and this one, and I put the other track next to it? Using this with 3 tracks is kind of a pain. I mean, and if we were to throw down some diesels to see if they clear these, I would imagine they will, but will not clear a man on side of car, that's for damn sure. And I can't have this come all the way out and go all the way back in. Like, there's no way. That would look insane. But I really do like this. I wish I could just delete these buildings and just keep this. If I spin this around, oh, it does fit. Well, all right then. I mean, it's still very, very close to the track. Like, you can't open that door. It would hit this. It will not clear man on side of car. Yeah, I really don't like this. Hmm. Wait a minute. What if I put it over here? What if I do this? I'm going to need to give it a little bit more room on the right, but... If I have it only intrude on the... Yeah, hold on. If we scoot... Can I scoot all these this way and just what happens? What happens if I do this? Can I keep these in a straight line and also... Huh. That's slightly better. I don't know why I'm using this as the grounding point, but it just feels like the right thing to do. And I keep undoing what I'm doing, I think. Hold on. Go back to the right. Alright, so now we have this track which sort of comes out this way. Okay, what I need to do is I need to scoot this back over to the right. And then these buildings are fine where they are, and I think that gives even more credence to the thing that I wanted to do originally, which is super goofy, which is to put the oil unloading back here on a stub. No, that's less weird than just pulling it off of here and tucking it into there. Why would I do this? Why would you do this? I mean, maybe to avoid the curved switch, right? And maybe what I can do is, okay, other than deleting all these spline points, let's go back into Surveyor Classic because that'll make it easier. We need to straighten this section back out again because this is not kosher. Delete that, delete that, delete that, delete that. Oh wait, no, sorry. That needs to stay. This need to go. These need to be straightened out, and then this just needs to be moved back over to the left so that it's a straight line from that. Yeah, like so. And I think what I should do is, instead of that, move this back along that, and tie this into the second track, because now this is officially like part of diesel servicing, so it deserves to be along this track and not that one. Maybe both, actually. I don't know. Yeah, because you've got to be able to get to this on both tracks. Let's bring this back out to here and just see how we feel about it. Now, there have to be some operational efficiencies. We'll leave it like this. And then, yeah, I do still want to put, like, a platform back there for something. And, like I said, either we're tucking something in here for the oil unloading, or probably what would make more sense would be to put a little tiny broken back curve in here so you barely notice it, and you know, just plug it in like this. Something else we don't have is an ash pit for these locomotives. That would probably be something on just one of these legs of the roundhouse. But yeah, we don't have an ash pit or like an ash conveyor. That's something that we should have. Maybe that could be over here. I just need to think about all these amenities. Whatever this industry is going to consume both diesel and sand. And by whatever it is, I mean, you know, this. It does both. Okay. So we've got the diesel shop, quote unquote, which is this. I do want to extend these tracks out to give a little bit more room in the back here. Probably to about right there. And I know they were there originally, and we just cut them back, but it was for adjustment purposes. Do the little things after the big things. Okay. So we've got diesel servicing, we've got steam servicing, we've got drop-off for diesel servicing. We don't have the drop-off for steam servicing yet. We need to do that. That's probably going to just come right off of here because, I mean, let's make life easy for once. Unless we want to put the ash conveyor off of here, we can put it off of here. We need to find a way to integrate this coach shop, which might be easier said than done. Because, yeah, I mean, this is a layover yard. It's not a coach yard. We kind of need a coach yard if we're going to have a coach shop, which is a different problem altogether. It's an entirely different kind of flying altogether. So, the fact that these tracks are embedded in the building and the building is embedded in the ground doesn't say much. It's not very helpful. Let's just grab, yeah, that height and then just put it down here. Why is this like this? Why are you sunken into the ground? And are these, yeah, okay, so those are tracks. The fact that this object does not allow height change is a little bit bewildering. I think if we jump in Surveyor 2.0, we should still be able to fix it, though. Yeah, like everything allows height change in 2.0. There we go. Because it's what, based on this back door here, which is atrocious, like sunken into the ground. And also, what is this? What are you supposed to be able to fit in this? Flat cars of lumber and nothing else? Because, like, if you put in a train, if we throw in a 40-foot boxcar, it does not fit at all. What are you supposed to be able to fit in this? Just trucks? Flat car depressed. Yeah, me too, bro. Me too. You can fit in a flat car. Also, did I just see do not weld to deck? Do not weld to deck. Trucks would make a lot of sense. That's the only thing I can think of. Flat cars with stuff on them or trucks. And not too much stuff or they're hitting the ceiling. Okay. Let's jump into... Also, hi, Bender. Let's jump into this. I'm going to grab another one of these 2,000-foot long pieces of track and just put it right here. Because these are not going to be 2,000-foot long pieces of track. But we do need a small coach yard to use with this building. And I've talked about adding a second track to this so that you can run down here without interrupting this. It's just, I don't really know if that's necessarily realistic. The annoying thing is to get coaches from here to there, you've got to sort of do like a really awkward back and forth, or pull back to here, I guess, and then back in through this whole area and pull into here. There's only one track behind us, so it doesn't really make a ton of sense. Unless we wanted to have these two come in on separate tracks, throw in a set of crossovers here. We'd have to scooch this building over to the left slightly, like that. Like that, but more. I don't think it's necessarily worthwhile. Unless, the only other thing is if you were to just put a loop around this and then tie it back into here. So that you could have a train pulling in while another one is drilling. That would actually make a lot of sense. That's what you have to think about. And these yards are at slightly different angles, so me doing the coach yard like this is not really doing myself any favors in terms of avoiding headaches, but let's just throw down like 4 or 5 tracks for potential coach yard in this area, just as storage for running what would have been running the mountain extension, as well as the Mansfield branch, as well as commuter train stuff to Jefferson or to Gilson City. Looking at pictures of Juniata, only building I know that looks similar, and they worked on a lot of stuff. I don't doubt it. Oh, you know what I'm realizing? This track here, if you extend it out, it's going to get closer and closer to those tracks there. And is that a good thing? I don't know. Hi, baby.
Hello.
Empanada time.
Yeah.
Found a pic of a couple FEC, UP, even shortline junk being repainted. Kind of neat. Juniata was so capable as a shop that if it wanted to be a locomotive built like a standalone locomotive builder, it probably could have. And that's pretty impressive for for a railroad shop. Especially, I mean, maybe not so much if you think like in the context of Britain, but in the context of the U.S., that never happened. Railroads bought locomotives, and when they built their own, it's because they were doing a little bit of desperate times, desperate measuresing. Them Paducah boys are at it again, and they built some stuff, and I can't say if it was good or not. Whereas Altoona, by some measures, was just like another Baldwin. It is what it is. Okay, let's rotate that and put it. Let's double it and pass it to the next person. One building I am looking at could be a track for a power plant. Unlikely, but I will attach pictures. Ooh, a power plant is a really good point. There should be some sort of power plant here. I mean, there's one over here, across the river, but that's for that town. We need one for this town. And like, and by town, I just mean like this area, right? We need a power plant for the shops. And we can definitely fit that somewhere in here. In fact, I could probably put it. I'll put it like right here. Um, let's go. Let's go to Surveyor Classic. Let's go to Search Filter, and let's go to, let's say, Power. That's a little bit low poly. Standard gauge powered turntable. Um, generating plant. Well, that's cool, not helpful. Milling power plant, coal thing, industrial power block. These are all going to be too big because they are specific to this. Although we do have this one. That's big. That's gorgeous, though. We've got to use that in the future. Brewery boiler house. Carson City boiler house. That's small. Tully boiler house. Those are that, but they're different shapes. Aging coal boiler. Sugar mill boiler annex. Now, we're going to just need like a... let's just throw in like a mill. Hi, Mew. Welcome back. Juniata having its own truck shop does not surprise me even a little. Not even a little. I need something like this. But just the bottom floor. Actually, maybe not just the bottom floor. What we'll do is this. Let's bring this down to like normal people height. Try maybe building a couple of shelves, column of shelves. Well, at least you got some good time with your dad. My dad came by and dropped off the splitter today. Casey's coming with a load of wood. How long you'll be done with your custom mapping? For today, in about 20 minutes. For this map, in about, I'd say, give or take, like probably 20 years. This is a forever project. It's a project that I work on not because I expect to reach the end, but because it gives me something to do. It lets me spend time with my community and lets me spend time in Trainz. So like, it's gonna be a while, and I'm okay with that. I've made my peace with that. I think that it's a good thing that I'm gonna be spending a long time here because I don't really want to. I don't really want to reach an end point where I have to figure out what to do next. I really enjoy the fact that this is going to be a project that I am going to spend as much time as I spend in Trainz. I'm going to be working on this. Let's go back to mill because I want another like brick building to attach to this. 20 years? That's crazy. I didn't have to done when I played Trainz. Good luck anyway. I'm from Northern Ireland. Oh, well, hello from Rhode Island to Northern Ireland. This is, yeah, like I say, it's a mega project. It is something I started many years ago, and I've been working on it ever since. It's about 30 miles long. 20 years is, not a serious answer, but there is no serious answer. It'll be done when it's done, and I've made headway pretty consistently for the last few years, and I'm happy. I'm hoping to continue making progress for the next as many years as I am capable of making progress. That's a cute little building. There are less things in here named Mill than I thought. Let's try Brick. Yeah, sometime between now and the heat death of the universe. Honestly, I don't think this route's ever going to be finished. Not in like I think I'll keep adding to it until we're done, but on a very serious note, like, oh, this is a nice engine house. We should have used this somewhere. I should have put this over here instead of this. I don't think I'd be able to fit like Gevos in it, but neither would they. They wouldn't be putting Gevos in it. But that's a really nice engine house. At any rate, it's the kind of project where I don't think it's ever going to be finished because I would be very surprised if I managed to keep doing this for as long as it's going to take until it's done. And what I mean by that is I think something catastrophic is going to happen to Trainz or to like my computer or my ability to do this long before I run out of stuff to do on it. And I'm okay with that. This is as much as anything ever can be truly a hobby. Okay, we've got like a machine shop there then. It's a hobby, and I'm happy that it's a hobby. Hi, pup. Hello, Lafayette. Would you like to say hello to everybody? Come here. Whoa, don't. Why you jump? No, don't jump. Ah, there we go. Hello, pup. Hi. Now look over there. You're a good boy. Lafayette, are you ready for the Big E? Do you want to go to the train show? Do you want to go to the train show? He's going to be at our booth on Saturday. He's going to be hanging out under the layout saying hello to everybody. Just like last year. Okay. We've got about 20 minutes left, and we made a car shop / power plant. All right. If you're going to climb on the desk, I need you to leave. Bye. Yeah, Casey is absolutely going to come and give Lafayette all the pets. I'm still not sure how to arrange this exactly. But we do need a coal drop-off. Probably back here. Where's the giant pile of coal? It's probably inside the building. I know that it's supposed to have a giant pile of coal somewhere. It's just got to be a... Not that. Not that. Although, this is interesting. Oh, that's like a... That's a big thing. PL coal, coal bin, coal tower. I need like the coal unloader super basic is what I need. Like the classic boilers, anything that'll fit. Yeah, that makes sense. Coal loader, that's a loader. I need an unloader. Coaling tower. This thing is in Deer Valley. If you go into the harbor, there's one of these. These are they were built by Fairbanks Morse. Coal conveyor, coal conveyor. I'm really surprised they don't have like coal unloader super basic. Oh, there we go. Coal unloading pit, coal unloader. Although it doesn't look like anything, so why not just use a multiple industry? Coal tipple, coal states, coal stage. Wait, did I miss it? It should have been coal U. Coal unloader super basic. Uh, do I use the classic coal unloader super basic? I mean, it looks terrible. I'll be honest. Uh, but I just... Hold on. Oh, this thing is too... Oh, it's too big. Because I would love to take this and just jam it into the side of the building like that. And then just lower this to the ground. Object's not allowed height change. Damn. You know, just so we'd have that. Anyway, I'm gonna get rid of that, and we'll just use multiple industry over here. Is there a coal unloader detailed? That's a good question. I don't think so. The other ones would be the coal unloader detailed. We need to figure out how this is going to connect, though, because I think what we have to do, the easiest way to make sense of this is probably to grab this, pull this out from here, connect this into the far track, tie all the tracks into this one, the bypass track, and then have all of these like feed into this one before here, which means, yeah, let's see if we can make this. Click, click, click. Get rid of that. I will have this one tie directly in because that's not going to be taking coaches. 491 cigarettes. Okay, let's do this. Those are some absurdly long switch points. That's what you get when you procedurally generate switches. For what is basically the truck track, that's completely ridiculous. Let me grab this, and then maybe even scoot this back even further, because I want to connect this up to there with enough room to switch in a couple of cars. So, straighten this spline, straighten that spline, and we're going to pull this back. We're going to pull that back. Insert spline point. Insert spline point. It's probably going to end up being still way too tight. Pull this back to here. Pull this back to here. Pull this back to here. It's going to be better than the way we did this on the Iron Horseman route, at least. That's something that I've never been happy with the track arrangement over by this exact building on the Iron Horseman route in Troy. So this is my opportunity to right that wrong of many years ago and build an arrangement that I'm happy with. Now, I'm still not happy with it because of all the things that I don't know about how they're organized, coach yards are like bottom of the list. But straighten that. Straighten that. But this is a lot wedged into a small space, so what are you going to do? Should you look for the pictures of the NEBW coach yard? We had a coach yard? Where did we have a coach yard? I don't even remember having one. I don't remember having one in Troy. Okay, at least we've got like nice broad switches. And then what we're gonna do is we are going to, yeah, the yard in Troy I always loved. Yeah, the Rutland yard, I love that. That's a great arrangement, and I'd actually like to sort of replicate that here or there. Um, pull this back far enough that this can be a straight line. If I insert a spline point here and I straighten this, it's not going to look dumb. Okay, yeah. And then from there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing I did over there, which is to just sort of draw a line from one side to the other, make sure both ends are straightened. They are. And hello, Eastern and Western. Welcome to the stream. Insert a spline point here, insert a spline point down there, and then hope and pray that what I have just made is long enough and has broad enough curves to function in a coach yard, which it doesn't look like it, but I'll make some adjustments. Okay. Something I've got to do is... Let me see. Before I continue with this, there is one more thing that I need to not forget. Aside from a siding here for the coal, which let me just put that there for now as a reminder. I need to grab the ash pit, and I don't know if there is a better one than the one I have over here. So hold on. Is this railroad going to be like 19 feet long? I would reckon it's going to be a little bit bigger than that, but, you know, 19 feet isn't necessarily wrong. Okay, well, this is the one that we have over here. The CNR ash conveyor, which is a reasonably sized ash conveyor. Hopefully, yeah, 190 miles is a pretty good estimate of what I'm aiming for on the main line of the largest railroad of the three. It goes around the entire edge of the map, and you know the other one is going to be in the middle. So this right now we've got about 30 miles of main line between here, which is Bellington, and here, which is Olive, through some other towns and things like that. But, you know, this is the tip of the iceberg. Like I said earlier, this is not a route that I ever really plan on finishing. Like dozens of feet. Like, you know, like at least 12. Alright, I wanted to place this. Duh. Got distracted. Do I have any other ash conveyors, though? Because we're gonna need a better ash conveyor than that, I think. Show search filter. Ash. I don't know what row houses have to do with ash. Oh, ash tow. Yeah, no, this is not going to be helpful. Oh, a 2-track one. Look at that. How about it? We could do a double track one. We could put it like right here. And then have... Wait, would that line up? Well, 333 mile longe? Everything's gonna be dual. Let's see. Will it line up? Does it get anywhere close? No, those tracks are way too far apart, and that's too far away. Son of a gun. Is it gonna be a snow map? That's a good question. I will probably include some snow features somewhere. I don't know exactly where. Once we get up into the mountains, because there will be some mountains eventually, there will probably be some places where there is still snow on the ground. At the very least, there should be that. Otherwise, Quebec Central Ash Pit. I think I used this one elsewhere. Um, this one also has like a dig hole with it, which is interesting. Um, I kind of wanted to use it over here, but now I put this other building here, so that's a little bit of a problem. Um, but yeah, we should be getting up into a place um, where you'd expect to see snow still on the ground, even in summertime, which this route is set in summertime. Um, and okay, it looks like we've got 3 things to choose from, and I'll pick this one. We'll use the bigger one for the big engine terminals in Mason Valley, or sorry, in Gilson City. Um, do I want to put it over here? I'm not entirely sure, but it's going to be either here or like here or here, I guess. Yeah, you know what? We'll put it on a pair of parallel tracks back here next to the roundhouse. Um, and I wasn't sure what I was going to put in this location, so this does kind of work. Um, so yeah, I would expect some snow. I'm personally a big fan of snow, so you know I would expect it. It's just the map is for you know ease of construction and also sort of general aesthetics. The map is a summertime map. It's officially I think like July 17th or something like that. Like I've picked out a day and it's a Tuesday. Um, because that's the most normal day I can think of. Um, on one of the roundhouse leads. Yeah, no, I would be tempted to put it on one of the roundhouse leads, but it's already kind of choked up over here. Um, it's Tuesday, governor. Tuesday, isn't it? Um, so now you've got to pull back into here to dump your ash, I guess. Oh wait. They left us one. Oh shoot, I don't like that. Uh, hold on. They left us one extra stub off the turntable to do this with. Hold on, can I connect it without updating it? No. How do I get it to look like one but be the other? All right, whatever. I guess I'll have to use this track to out here. Is there going to be a tunnel? I do have a couple of tunnels. There will be some like big marquee tunnels later on in the route. There is one that's coming up as we go this way, called Raven Bridge Tunnel, which is sort of the in-universe equivalent of the Husik Tunnel, if you're familiar with that. Um, it is a very difficult. It was a very difficult tunnel to build, and it was, you know, it's got some local legends surrounding it, things like that. It is not a very nice place to be, and it's kind of an operational hazard. It also happens to be the only place on this railroad's run, on this railroad's 200-mile mainline run, where the track drops to, or where the main line drops to only 2 tracks wide. It's the only place on the line where that happens. Yes, yeah, the tunnel where they rammed the boring machine into the wall and it broke immediately and they scrapped it on site. Yes, that one. Yes, that tunnel. That's my favorite tunnel. Love that place. Love the Husik Tunnel. Someday I'll walk into it and probably never come out. Because I'm pretty sure that's just what happens. Listen, like, I'm a ghost skeptic, but if there's any place on this planet that's haunted as heck, it's that tunnel. I ain't afraid no ghost. Is this a version where it has the Polar Express? Sadly, no. I do not have the North Pole on this map. But you know, there's always the future. Oh, this needs to be straightened out. And probably needs a... Yeah, because many deaths during construction, exactly. Because, like, absurd numbers of deaths during construction. Um, if you or anyone else if you or anyone else gets to visit the Husik Tunnel, there is a monument right near the entrance that commemorates the almost 200 people that died during the construction of the tunnel. Um, and like I mentioned during the Three Quarters of an Idiot show about the bridge killing bridge, like it's far too depressing for that kind of show, but I had to like ask some questions anyway. Uh, and it would be excellent fodder for Well There's Your Problem. I would love to do that. Uh, I last time I was at the Big E last year when I was at the Big E, I asked for a couple of book suggestions for, um, like to learn more about the Hoosic Tunnel. And my original intent was to, um, my original intent was to go and read those books and then make a make a a script like I did for the bridge killing bridge episode, but for Well There's Your Problem sort of thing, uh, on the Hoosic Tunnel. And I didn't have the chance to do that, but it's still sort of on my brain. Okay, so this right here. In fact, I think what I'm going to do is, I think what I'm going to do is instead of having everything peel off of this track like it is right now, I think I'm going to add a spline point here. And oh no. Yes. Uh, I'm in love with you had the flat top tunnels in the Polar Express. Uh, we might have some flat top tunnels. You know, there'll be plenty of rugged terrain when we get up the way. Uh, when we get up the mountains. Not, Glacier Gulch, but rugged. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this back. I'm gonna give this as much room as possible. We're gonna go into Surveyor 2.0 so I can make it look nice. Venkman, I see you up there on the stairs. Let's pull this back. Let's pull this to here. And this is gonna be a really interesting, this is gonna be really unusual railroad geometry. This is the kind of thing that Mason would hate me for, and he would be right to hate me. Insert spline point. Straighten spline. Scoot this over here. Is this accidentally straightened? No. Is this straightened? Yes. Why is it acting so weird? Oh, is this straightened? Yes. No. Undo that. Let's not straighten that. And then let's bring this way. And let's actually push it up just a little bit, just to get a little bit more room here. And then we will, instead of connecting that right into there, what we'll do is we'll connect it up to here. Like this isn't me being clever and like making really nice things. This is me like trying to squeeze everything I can out of here. That I've done so much worse, like so much worse. Uh, oh, sorry, I've been looking away. Uh, Q Mason arriving. Oh, have you seen the ice scene? Oh, I've seen the ice scene plenty. I watched Polar Express right around Christmas time. It was not an intentional like I'm doing this as a tradition, but I'm happy to do it as a tradition. Oh, and it's after 10 o'clock, and I need to leave. But give me just a few more minutes to sort this out. Let me get rid of that. Oh, no, 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 no. Sorry, wrong thing. Get rid of that, and that can work. And Virgo said something. Red marble rugged. Red marble and worse, I would imagine. Red marble's pretty bad. It depends where you are. The steepest main line is going to be the Volga Mountains Railroad's main line. I would guess, because they're like a Rio Grande-esque railroad, and then uh, the Zion and Skyline is going to have some long and steep grades, but they have melees and stuff. They're sort of N&W-esque. Okay, there we go. We're starting to fill this place out now. This is going to be our spur for coal to the power plant there for the machine shop. This is a maintenance away stuff, whatever is supposed to go in here. Trucks, flat cars of gubbins to run things. And then this is our line into the coach yard, which I should actually pull all of these out as far as I can, so that, and maybe I could even tie them into this now, so that we have enough, we have as much room as possible. This is going to get cut back. Come on. This is going to get cut back to here. And then tied into this track. But that'll be for next time. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next week. This is the Admiral.